Gas closeouts are complete. Stage 1 pressing for flight.
T-minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off of the Falcon 9.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Falcon 9 has cleared the tower and is now headed upward on its mission to sun-synchronous low Earth orbit. Coming up, the rocket will throttle down for max Q, which
reached maximum aerodynamic pressure,
which represents the maximum aerodynamic stress on the rocket. We're now headed into a series of events that will occur in rapid succession. That's MECO, stage separation, and SES1, or second engine start 1. MECO is the shutdown of all 9 first stage engines in preparation for stage separation, where stage 2 separates from stage 1, and SES1 is the ignition of the second stage engine.
MVAC chill has begun.
Following SES1, we will turn our attention back to the returning first stage, which will relight 3 of its engines in a boost back burn to head back towards the drone ship. And then finally, we'll see fairing deployment at T plus 2 minutes and 43 seconds. As mentioned earlier in this webcast, we're attempting to recover the payload fairing, and while we will not have a live video feed of this attempt, we'll share updates as they become available. So in about 20 seconds, you'll hear the call out from MECO. Let's listen in.
We have MECO.
And as you just saw, we had a successful main engine cutoff, stage separation, as well as ignition of that second stage engine. And there goes that fairing. And there you can see all 64 of those satellites on stage 2 headed to sun-synchronous orbit. You will hear the call out for the boost back burn ending in a couple of seconds. That's where stage 1's burn that brings it back in the direction of the drone ship. That burn will cease.
Stage 2 trajectory nominal.
And we are hearing that the stage 2 trajectory is nominal and performing as desired. You can see those beautiful grid fins popping up on the left side on stage 1 as it makes its way back down to the drone ship. MVAC-D's power is nominal. That burn is looking very good. Stage 2, MVAC D engine continues to look good. Temperatures and chamber pressures remain nominal. And we have beautiful views of the Earth from both stages.
So just a quick recap in case if you have just joined us. We just had a beautiful liftoff from Vandenberg Air Force Base, our West Coast launch site in California, followed by amazing footage of stage separation, main engine cut off first, then stage S separation. And we see the second engine there ignited and carrying our payloads into the proper orbit. Now on the left side of your screen there, you see our first stage, which is coming back down to planet Earth as we're hoping to land it on our drone ship this morning. So coming up in just a few seconds, we'll be initiating the re-entry burn. This is designed to slow the rocket down as it re-enters Earth's atmosphere. Then just a couple minutes later, we'll perform the final burn, also known as the landing burn, and that will decelerate the vehicle to a gentle landing atop of our drone ship. So there's the visual confirmation of that re-entry burn. This will last for another 10 seconds. Okay, so now that re-entry burn has ended, we have less than a minute until that third and final landing burn will happen, followed by
Stage 1
touchdown.
FPS has saved.
Now, as we approach our first stage landing, I'd like to point out that we might lose video coverage out there on our drone ship. There's lots of vibrations as the rocket is coming down towards it, so we might lose our satellite signal. If this is the case, we'll be sure to provide you status updates on that first stage as they become available. We're certainly excited to hear about it here in Hawthorne and across all of SpaceX, as this is the first time that we are trying to land this for a third time. So there we can see that final landing burn happening. We'll be looking for deployment of the landing legs here momentarily. From the crowd cheers here, Falcon 9 has touched down for the third time. So as you saw in that shot, Falcon 9 landed on our drone ship. Just read the instructions, which is currently out in the Pacific Ocean.
That's so great. And the second stage is still continuing on with the primary mission, though. We are 8 minutes and 32 seconds into flight, and the second stage is still burning nominally. It's on a really good trajectory. Power is looking good, chamber pressures are good, and we're looking at 200,000 pounds of thrust in the vacuum of space with that engine. So the second engine cutoff, or SECO, that's where we're going to stop burning this engine, because ideally Falcon 9 will be in its intended deployment orbit. That's coming up in about 50 seconds.
So as we mentioned earlier, we won't be able to show the deployments of the satellites today because this will be happening, that will be taking place over areas where we don't have ground station coverage. So unfortunately, we won't have any live video feed to provide. Because deployment won't be viewable, we will end our live webcast soon after the second engine cutoff, but please continue to follow along on SpaceX Twitter updates for payload deployment as they become available.
All right, we should be expecting SECO, and there it is. Let's listen in for whether or not the orbit's good. And we have confirmation that stage 2 has reached a good orbit. This is the deployment orbit, and the next step over the course of the next 40 minutes or so is to separate the payloads from the second stage of Falcon 9. And with that, we have reached the conclusion of our webcast today. Please continue to follow on SpaceX Twitter for real-time updates on the rest of this mission, including deployment of the satellites on board today. Thank you to our customer Spaceflight for entrusting us with today's launch, and to the United States Air Force's 30th Space Wing for range support. And a special thanks to the FCC, the NTIA, and NASA Spectrum Office for helping making today's flight possible.
Be sure to continue to follow along with future SpaceX milestones. Check out our website and social media feeds. Also, be sure to check us out for our next flight, CRS-16, a NASA cargo resupply mission to the International Space Station. And that's currently targeted for tomorrow, December 4th, at 1:38 p.m. Eastern out of Cape Canaveral, Florida. And with that, from all of us here at SpaceX, have a great day.